Maakt u ook tijd?
Ik loop.
Oké, wacht goed.
Dave, album title is There's Nothing Left to Lose. What do you want to say with that?
Well, when we started making the record, we were without a record label. We had the option to leave our record company and get away from all the industry and business and stuff like that. And I built a studio in my home, which I'd never done before. And we went in to make a record where we didn't really have any songs prepared. So a lot of people see the title as this desperate kind of brooding statement, when really it's supposed to represent this positive attitude where you don't care about anything else but this one thing that you've sort of immersed yourself in. Everything else is irrelevant. And we went in to make this record like, okay, there's nothing left to lose. Like, I think a lot of people expected us to go in and make a record with sort of a famous producer, a big production, having gone through all the first and second record, which was kind of like this, hard rock, very produced record. We decided that, okay, there's nothing left to lose. Let's go in the other direction. Let's do the record by ourselves. Let's not have any involvement outside of the band and make an album that we really loved, you know. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't change a thing on this record because we did everything we wanted to do. And there wasn't anyone to tell us to chop that down to 3 minutes or rearrange, or this could be a single or this could not. Or we just kind of made this weird collection of songs. And that was my feeling through the whole thing. Like, I don't care about anybody. I don't care about anything else. This is my one thing, and I'm headstrong in one direction. One journalist said, well, why didn't you just call the album I Don't Give a Fuck? And I said,
Well, by changing your working situation, you must have changed your attitude towards being in a band and being, well, dependent on the industry.
Well, see, the weird thing is there's so many different aspects of being in a band. The most prominent aspect is doing things like this, doing some kind of promotion or going on some kind of tour or doing an interview for a magazine, whatever. And it takes up a lot of your time. The creative aspect these days has been kind of whittled down to a good 2 or 3 months in the studio. Whereas maybe a long time ago, bands would spend a couple months in the studio and then go on tour for 8 months and then go into the studio straight away again and make another record and release an album every year or a couple albums a year. Now it's kind of gotten to the point where you make an album and the people that you made the album for, the record company, want to kind of like squeeze every drop out of it until they're ready for you to go make another one. And having that environment, that comfortable, relaxed recording environment in your own home with no clock on the wall, no deadline, is kind of the ideal, you know, because you get to really dive into the creative aspect, which you miss so much when you have to go away for so long and focus on the other aspects. So.
Now, talking about being creative, did you become a different musician ever since you started with Foo Fighters, if you compare it, for instance, to the things that you did with Nirvana?
Well, I think that I've probably gained a little more understanding of arrangement and layering and just kind of basic composition. I still don't know how to read music, and I still haven't learned how to play the clarinet or anything like that.
You still don't know how to play a mellotron?
No, but I faked it on the record. So I can kind of get my hands on anything. Like I can sort of, if I pick up a cello, I can't play well, but I could fake it. And that's the way I feel with drums and guitar and everything, that I'm just kind of faking it because no one ever showed me how to do it. So just sort of faking it. But I think that maybe I just hear things more now. Whereas before I was more likely just to, you know, and now I'm more in touch with melody or arrangement than I used to be. And not that I'm any master of it at all, but just kind of getting there slowly.
Now, the first thing I told in the program was you change your work from a drummer into a singer-songwriter and a guitar player. How different is that?
Well, I think that there's a lot of songwriting in drumming. I think that drumming shouldn't just be considered a background percussion. I think that you should be able to solo all of the instruments, mute all of the instruments and solo the drums, and know what song it is by just hearing the drums, and know what part is the chorus and what part is the verse just by listening to the drums. I think that songwriting is just as important with the drums as anything else. But I mean, I've never, this is the first time in my life I've ever fronted a band, had to actually stand up and sing and, seem charismatic or whatever, which I can't do. But it's pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lifestyle's not different. I mean, we still tour a bunch, but actual position in a band is, because I mean, as a drummer, you're like the bottom of the barrel, man. Drummers are the least respected people of most bands.
So how often do you still have to think about your, hyperactive period in Nirvana if you compare it to this band? I mean, you show so relaxed in this band. There's such a big difference in the way I look at you, let's say 8 years ago.
Well, I was still a kid, man.
Yeah.
I was still pretty young. I'm just tired.
You don't look tired.
Thank you. Well, I think that in Nirvana I had a lot of freedom because that was just the drummer, and I could just go completely crazy back behind everything, and it made it better, In this band I have to sort of have some level of restraint or control, and I take this very seriously. Like, I take the music that we make very, very seriously. As much as when we play, we sort of seem like we're just goofing around. I take this more seriously than most anything in my life. So, and I think, I'm just getting a little older. In Nirvana, I was 21 years old, 22, and just kind of amazed at everything. It was I just thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Like, what? We're number 1 on the charts? God, people are stupid. We've scammed them pretty well. But, now it's more of, I need to do this, I need to just keep playing and making music.
You play all sorts of short in between the songs that you did today in the session. Is that your influence? All the things that you played in between?
Well,
the Beatles stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we all listen to old music, new music. If we're joking around playing a Lemonhead song, or we're doing Blackbird by the Beatles, or doing some stupid country western rendition of one of our songs, that's kind of half the fun, and that actually does lend to broadening your horizons, no matter how goofy it is. It's nice to kind of test little areas to see if you could pull it off. And basically with this record, we'd write a song and think, okay, how weird can we make this? And go way out on a limb and think, well, no way, that's kind of weird. And then after we listened to it for a few days, we thought, what the hell, So yeah, that's kind of that's the glue that binds our band together, is this stupid 3 minutes in between every song where we're doing a Black Sabbath cover or a Queen cover or, something like that. So.
Thank you very much. I smell Dutch weed.
Yeah, I don't smoke weed, but someone else.
You don't smoke weed?
No, I used to. It's funny because, and I was in a hardcore band called Scream before I was in Nirvana, and Amsterdam used to be our home base. Our booking agent was here. That was our excuse. And so we'd come here for a month before the tour, and I used to smoke, and so I'd just stay here for a month, returning bottles to the night shop and, buying weed. And I stopped smoking pot when I was about 20. And
grown up.
Yeah, and then I'd come to Amsterdam and kind of see all these new neighborhoods. Wow, I never noticed that. Get out on a bicycle, like, hey, this place is pretty cool. It's more than just that coffee shop and that couch and that TV, So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.